Good afternoon, NEEMO15 crew. This is Marcy Frumker speaking to you from the International Women's Air and Space Museum in Cleveland, Ohio. And I had a couple questions initially for Shannon Walker. First question.
Hello, Marcy. Good to talk to you.
Nice to chat with you again. First question for you, Shannon. Other NASA astronauts, after working as NEEMO commanders, have been assigned as space station commanders. And I wonder if that's something going to happen in your future, you think?
Well, I can't tell you what may be going through my boss's mind, but I hope it's a possibility. I would love to be a commander on the space station, but honestly, if given a chance to fly, I'll fly in any crew role that NASA sees fit to put me in.
Excellent. And since you're the only one actually that's had spaceflight experience on your crew, how does this NEEMO experience compare and contrast with your expedition experience on space station?
It is very similar to life on the space station. Living in a confined space, international crew, 6 of us here, working to a pretty rigid schedule. It is very much like life on space station, except with gravity.
And next question is for Steve. Steve, how does this NEEMO asteroid training compare with your groundbreaking experience with the Mars rovers?
It's similar in some ways and different in others. We're not, of course, exploring an asteroid here. We're figuring out how to do that, and what we're doing, of course, with the rovers is exploring on Mars. But it does remind me very much of experiences that we had 15 or 20 years ago when we were first learning how to do exploration with a robot. At that time, nobody knew how to do that. And we built the hardware, and we took it out to an analog site, and we tried different things, and some of them worked, some of them didn't, we learned. And that's very similar to what we're doing here. We're in a good analog environment, we're trying different techniques, and we're learning what works.
And considering that these EVAs are sort of practice for doing it on a real space mission, how do these simulated EVAs underwater compare with doing practice runs in the neutral buoyancy lab in a pool versus the water in the ocean? And that's for anybody.
Yes, that's a good question. The NBL is an awesome place to train, and it's good for simulating working around the space station. What's peculiar about working at NEEMO is that because we are living underwater, saturated under high pressure, we can do these dives for hours and hours and hours, day after day after day after day. At the NBL, you can only do a few hours for maybe 2 days in a row, then you have to take a break. So this allows us to do a solid block of almost 2 weeks of continuous diving operations. So this is the main advantage of being here. The other advantage, of course, is this is a wild environment. So that adds another air of resemblance to an asteroid mission.
Great. Now that we have the retirement of the space shuttle and less opportunities to actually fly in space, do you think there'll be more simulated missions of the type of NEEMO15 in the future in order to keep all of you astronaut folks busy?
Well, I don't think they're doing it just to keep astronauts busy, but I do think we'll continue with the analogs in the future because they are a very good way to learn techniques that we will need on other bodies and a good way to answer some of the questions without actually going into space.
I wonder if you could talk about the creature comforts on Aquarius versus the space station. Do you have showers there, bathrooms, sleeping quarters? What's it like?
Well, it's a lot like the space station. We do have a shower here, which we do not have on the space station. Creature comforts, we actually have a few more here because we're able to have divers bring us down things that we may want or need. So it's easy to get better and different food here on Aquarius than we had on the space station.
Okay. And one last question. In terms of medical emergencies that might come up while you're on NEEMO versus on space station, are you simulating those types of things as well?
Absolutely. In fact, we just had a medical emergency drill today. We do practice those things. Just like in space station, you cannot immediately leave and get to emergency medical care. So we're practiced in taking care of ourselves. And for this mission in particular, we're very fortunate because David is a medical doctor, but our hab techs that we live with are also medically trained, so we're in very good hands to take care of just about any emergency to stabilize a person before we could repressurize or depressurize and get somebody to the surface.
Excellent. Well, nice chatting with you all, and good luck with the rest of your mission.
Thank you very much.